What's going on, everybody? It's Dan here, back with another Moonshine talking. Welcome aboard. Hope everyone's having a good one. Uh, yeah, what's going on? It's been an interesting week for me. In the past week, we had a hurricane. A hurricane rolled through Florida over the past week. I'm sure a lot of people heard about it. Where I live in Tampa. If you don't know, most people who follow my channel, they probably are aware of that fact. I live in Tampa. The part of Tampa where I live, it didn't really get hit that bad, knock on wood, because I know we got a couple on the back end that are supposed to be potentially rolling through here in the next week or so, week and a half. But yeah, I didn't get too affected by it. Really, other than a little rain and wind, that's pretty much all that happened here where I live. Uh, it basically shot my plans all to hell because I was supposed to fly up to New York for a family event, and my flight got canceled the Wednesday prior to the storm hitting. They didn't have any other flights, and the flights that I could have probably tried to reconfigure and configure, it just didn't work on my schedule. So it pretty much screwed up all my plans, screwed up the plans that I had previously because I had to reschedule stuff I was going to do. I was going to go see Bewitcher on Saturday, and the Friday before that, I was going to go see Goat Horror, and couldn't go do that because I was supposed to go home. Then not only did I not get to see them, I also didn't get to go home to be with my family and go do what I had to do up there. And then the icing, the rotted cherry on the diarrhea sundae was apparently Morpheus Descends, one of my favorite death metal bands. They played in my neck of the woods in New York with a couple other bands with Malignancy and I forget the other band. And not only could I have seen them, I also could have been hanging out with Eddie from Realms of Metal. I would just run into each other as happenstance. So that kind of sucked all around. But fortunately, no damn. Other than that, if that's the worst that happened, then I got off pretty scot free. I know a lot of people. I know people who lost like 80% of their possessions and their homes are flooded and stuff like that. So my bitching about what happened is really inconsequential compared to that, compared to other people. So, you got to keep things in perspective and keep things within proportion. You gotta be objective about these things. So anyhow, so that was the hurricane update in case anyone was wondering. A little more detailed than a couple of people text me, which is really cool. I appreciate it. I appreciate anybody checking up on me. And and yeah, so was that. Other than that, yeah, why am I here? I figured I would do a collection update. I don't have much stuff to review. Just really, other than in a week or so, is about maybe a couple of things that I'm really interested in reviewing. But beyond that, I don't really have much in the ways of reviews. I will probably have a couple show reviews coming up. Supposed to go see, weather permitted. Gonna go see High on Fire next Wednesday. And then on Friday, I'm super stoked for this one. I get to see the almighty Deicide with Christian, Cloak, and what's the other band? Uh, Inferi. I think that's the name of the other band. But they're all playing locally. It's the last show on Deicide's Banished by Sin tour, so I'm super excited to go see that. I haven't seen them in forever. I think the last time I saw them was back in like 98 or something like that. They were here a year or so ago. They did the whole Legion. They played Legion in its entirety, but I didn't get to go to it because it didn't match up with my schedule. So I didn't get to go see them. The last time I saw them was like 90, 98, 90, 97, something like that. I think I saw them at the Chance in Poughkeepsie with All Out War, I think played with them and a couple other hardcore bands. But anyhow, so yeah, I figured I'd do a collection thing, and I know most people find collection updates kind of boring, just the whole show and tell thing, which I get. So I figured, I'd do what would make a little bit more sense and show some of the stuff that I've bought recently and I've been listening to. So I got stuff from a bunch of like I haven't done a collection update thing one of those gimmicks in forever. So I've bought from a lot of different people, places, uh, set up a Discogs account and ordered some stuff from Trevor, who has the Fumes of Hatred channel, who we did a live stream recently. I bought some stuff off of eBay, also on Discogs, which is really killer. I'm looking at the band Iron Man that I'm really getting into now and trying to get all their stuff, get the collection, get their whole discography, physical copies of everything. I was looking on Discogs and I'm looking around and searching and scrolling and doing all that, and I find some place that looks, okay, that's decent. So I go looking, go scrolling, blah blah blah, going through this, that, and the other thing. And sure in hell, it's John from Solitude Eternus, the guitar player, John Perez. I was like, oh shit. So it was really cool. We had some issues because he had some issues, payment issues. But finally, we got to hook up and link up, and I got to buy some stuff from him. I got some stuff from him. Hill's Headbangers got some stuff from them, and yeah, just a bunch of places. So I'm not going to show everything that I've got because we'd be here forever, especially with the way that I talk. And yeah, so let's get started. So first of all, from Hell's, this just came in. Finally got my copy of Deceased, Children of the Morgue. Very killer. Definitely at the top of my list of albums of the year. Really enjoyed this one. Uh, Hell's had some issues with pressing. I got some of those Christian digibooks that they pressed that they just released recently. So that was causing a little bit of a holdup, which was prevent me from getting that one. And but yeah, no worries. I mean, they're good as gold, so you can't really complain. It just took a little bit longer than expected, but that's not a big deal. So speaking of them, I also picked this one up. Picked up this Impiety, Despondent Ecstasies. This is not the Impiety that most people are thinking of. This is the one with Gene Pavlicki from Angel Corpse, Perdition Temple, and it's got Antar from Diabolic on drums, Mark Tibor on guitars. It's really good. It's what you would expect from all the guys mentioned. Antar is a killer drummer. Gene, his work speaks for itself. If you're a fan of Morbid Angel, Malevolent Creation, stuff like that, that old school Florida death metal style, you'll enjoy it. Um, I'm kind of going in order beyond. Besides that, I'm trying to go in order of like genre and stuff like that. But I did figure I'd start with those two. Uh, so moving forward, from Trevor from Fumes of Hatred, I got this one recently. Excuse me, my hair's getting in my face. Eric Wagner in the Lonely Light of Morning. Got that on vinyl from him. This is very killer. If you're not familiar with Eric Wagner, he was one of the founding members and lead singer of Trouble, the one of the big four doom metal bands. Uh, Definitely, I don't know, between them and Candlemass, I would say are probably the best ones. But Trouble they're one of my favorite bands of all time, and that was kind of essential for me to pick up. Uh, it's got a lot of players from different eras of Trouble, so it's definitely got that sound. Very essential if you're a fan of Trouble. Actually, I'll put a link in the description. But the channel Heavy Metallurgy, they just did a whole thing about Psalm 9, their debut album, and they went through a whole big thing. They had like a little roundtable discussion. It was very cool. I've listened to most of it, but I'm going to go back and listen to more of it. And so it just got me. It was just kind of ironic that I had just purchased that, and then they were talking about that. But yeah, very cool. So moving on, in more Doom. I got this a while ago. I got this at my local record store, the local Sound Exchange. This is the most recent one from Lucifer. Lucifer is a Doom band, Doom heavy metal, kind of trad stuff. It's got Joanna and Nikki Anderson, Nikki from Entombed, the Helicopters. This is very cool. This is a very very good album. Front to back, this is just very killer doom hard rock. As far as songs on it, that I would probably a Coffin has no silver lining, Fallen Angel. I mean, the whole thing's really really good. Uh, so just those two off the top of my head are, the whole thing is just a stellar album. It's definitely high up there for me. I'm more into like probably as far as like my favorite genres and all that is like doom, stoner, sludge, and all the different like subsidiary subgenres, all the things that all the affiliate subgenres that branch off from that. That's kind of that's my favorite stuff besides the death and more just like heavy metal hairband stuff. I like black and stuff I like everything. If it's good, I'll listen to it. As they say in the movie Detroit Rock City, good tunes is good tunes. So that's that. But going back to my order from John, I got this one. This is Black Betty. This is their self-titled and the only album that this band did. It's a two-piece. Think the White Stripes if they had balls. It's very blues influenced, doom, stoner rock. Again, two-piece. The drummer, what's his name? I gotta think for. I want to say it's Jonas, but don't quote me on that. Here, I'll look real quick. It is Jonas. Jonas Fairley and Anna Serena. They're a Vancouver, BC band. And he also played in a band with Jakey Lee, which was kind of cool. Jakey Lee's Red Dragon Cartel. But that's a very killer album. Astral Messiah, Falling, uh, Evil Again. That one, yeah, it's Evil once again. Excuse me. Painter's Blues. The whole thing is just good stuff. Good Doom. If you like Doom, I definitely recommend that. If you don't have it already, if you can find it, go pick it up. Very happy, very satisfied to get a copy of that because it's one of those underrated bands and albums that it just flies under the radar for people. But yeah, and then moving on from my Hell's Order, I got this one, this Altar of Oblivion, Barren Grounds. Very good stuff. State of Decay. It's a four track EP, and it was on Shadow Kingdom Records. They've since moved on to the friggin' From the Vaults is the name of the label that they're on now within the Cesspit of Divine Decay. I did a review on that very killer album. Would love to get a copy of it, but it's coming from Europe, so it's expensive with all the shipping and all that sort of stuff. But very killer album, very killer band, Epic Doom, uh, very much in the vein of like a Solitude Eternus, and yeah. So if you're into that, go check that out. Moving, actually, you know what? I'll do this also with the order I got from John. This Captain Beyond. This is old school proto metal, dancing madly backwards. I thought a cool one on here was Mesmeration Eclipse. That one, that I kind of laughed when I was listening to it because you can hear a lot of Twin Earth by Monster Magnet on there. So obviously Dave Windorf and Monster Magnet borrowed heavily from that song. A lot of the same guitar patterns and like the vocal intonations and stuff like that. But a very killer song, killer track. Captain Beyond's kind of one of those bands. Like overall, the album is like almost like hippie stuff, like psychedelic. Uh, but you kind of get a flair. It's kind of got like almost like a pentagrammy, like early pentagrammy kind of sound, like that early like doom and stoner rock and stuff like that really hasn't kind of codified into what it's known for and became. But it's very important as far as like the history. I'm into the history of the music and stuff like that. So it was cool to get a copy of it and just to hear one of those bands that kind of laid the tracks for all the bands that came after and kind of moved forward and pushed the genre forward. So that was that. Not so much in the stoner doom, but kind of keeping in the train of thought that I'm going on. I got Rotting Corpse. This is John's thrash band, Thrash in Pain or Die Insane. Killer cover, very good album. I've only listened to it once, but I enjoyed it heavily. I'm going to listen to it more and get a little bit more acclimated to it. But very cool. I had heard that he had a thrash band previously, and that was actually it was on there. I said, "Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna snatch that up," and then that's kind of how I realized that that's who I was talking to. So it was kind of wild. But anyhow, and then This is a band, Florist. They are a local stoner band. Uh, this is their EP, Contact. I believe it came out last year. I saw them with Heavy Temple recently, and they were fantastic. Just very heavy, fuzzy, lots of psychedelic underpinnings throughout the songs. Excuse me. They have a theremin player, if you can believe that, and it just adds a unique flavor to the sound. Uh, in fairness, I think it's kind of overdone at times, but I know when you listen to the albums, you kind of get they're trying to go for like this real like space rock kind of kind of groove and kind of vibe to it, so that kind of lends into the overall theme of the band. Very 420, 420 friendly, if you can see that. Very much like Sleep. But very cool. Definitely, if they're on Bandcamp, I know there's probably easier ways to get in touch with them, but they're very good, and I would recommend them. If you get to see them live, definitely go check them out. This next one, sticking here in Tampa, is band Virulence. They are a death metal project from right here in the Bay Area. This is their EP from 2022, Necrosis. It's got Chris. Chris used to play with Divine Empire. I want to say Kevin. No, Mike Petrak, who played with Mon with the Hoffman brothers, which I thought was pretty cool. Uh, Stephen Harger is the one who plays on this album, but actually, and Chris DeFoud, hopefully I pronounce his name. He's the one who's guitar vocals. He played with Divine Empire. Kevin Gibbons on bass. Steve Harger on guitars on the album. But actually, I ran into Vincent, I want to say DeBona is his last name. I ran into him at a gas station. I was leaving work and I was having a snack attack, went to a Wawa, and he was there wearing a Skeletal Remains shirt. So I approached him and got chatting with him, and he was telling me how he just was at the Mug and his band played there. And then I asked him what his band was. He told me, and I was like, "Oh, you on Bandcamp or anything?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You go on there." He told me the name and where to find him and all that sort of stuff. And so I picked up a copy or two or four, maybe, but they're very cool. Again, if you're into the Malevolent Creation, Divine Empire, Morbid Angel, like the more signature Tampa sound of death metal, it's very good stuff. Inheriting Ruin, the title track Necrosis, Bright Light. It's a 5-track EP, but it's definitely very cool. They're actually in late November. There's a festival here called Swarm Fest. It's being put on by Nick from Promethean Horde, which is a local black metal band, and it's going to have a ton of people on there. You'll see right now. It's going to be headlined by Pessimist one night. Uh, Vincent Crowley band is headlining Saturday night, and Sunday night Nasty Savage is headlining. They're going to have friggin' Nocturnus ADs there. You see that on the flyer. Bunch of cool local bands: Sacrilus, Promethean Horde, uh, Tunnels of Set, who used to be Lore, Litany of Ruinous Entities. Bunch of killer bands are going to be there. It's a 3-day thing. It's at the Brass Mug. I want to say it is. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. I want to say possibly. Don't quote me on that. You know, you'll see it on the flyer. Yeah, I just can't remember the dates off the top of my head. Um, but yes, that's pretty cool. Then a couple things I got from $20 spin was this Laceration, IE Road, very killer death metal, um, very brutal, very heavy. Uh, Zompantili, am I pronouncing that correctly? This is their latest one, beating the drums of Ancestral Force. Very cool Death Doom. Really enjoyed that. And then this was off of Nuclear War Now, but I got it through $20 spin. Was that most recent Departure Chandelier, Satan Soldier of Fortune. Very cool. I don't know. It was grating is a poor word to describe this album, but I enjoyed it. It was grating, but there was something good about it. I don't say grating in a bad way, like it was annoying, but just a lot of maybe dissonance the proper word to describe it, but yeah, it was very cool. I definitely recommend that. I don't know how many of these because they're all out releases from earlier this year. Don't know how they're going to rank on my best of the year list, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, but it's very cool stuff. Enjoy it, and I enjoy just sitting around listening to music in my spare time when I'm besides working out and all the other stuff that I do. Work a lot of hours. Oh, that actually reminds me. I was going to mention this. So at my job, you'll see this now. It's Halloween time, which is a very busy time for us. I'm not going to tell you where I work, but we convert a bunch of the store into a like Halloween central. We sell a lot of costumes, and it's very busy, very hectic time of the year for us. So I was just showing it to Trevor from Shredbeard, his channel, and I sent him a video and I was showing it to him. But I figured, it's kind of cool. So, showing you what the store kind of looks like right now, and it gets hectic and it gets kind of mad. It's like a maddening time of the year, but it's one of our busier times of the year. So it's kind of cool. I like Halloween. I enjoy the month. It's actually my birthday month, but yeah, it's always fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy Halloween. Sometimes working at my job and doing it this time of year makes me kind of not like Halloween, but at the same time, it's got horror movies. It's the spooky season, as people say. So I've always loved it. A bunch of bad apples aren't going to ruin something I've loved my whole life. It's got a very special. It's a very special time of the year for me. Besides it being when my birthday, uh, right before Halloween of 1997 is when I got into the wrestling business. So it holds a very special place in my heart as far as the month and what it means to me. There's a lot of sentimental value. So anyhow, that's my little getting sappy for the moment. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I didn't have anything a little more profound or something a little more meat on the bone as far as a review or a show review or anything like that. But that's what I got. I figured I would just share with you a little bit. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. Everybody have a good one. I'm going to catch you on the next video. I'm gonna grab something to eat and hopefully not get blown off into the distance by any other storms in the near future. And I'll talk with you soon. Later.